So we are here today to tell you the story about how Pork and Beans got their name, brand Van Camps. So it's actually, if you can see here, it says serving. It's kind of blurry, from 1861. There was this guy named Van, and they didn't have cars back then. And you know, what he really wanted to do was explore the food option because he knew cars didn't exist. And so you may have heard of the phrase band camp.
But what really also, there's van camp because there's a campground called van camps.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to make basically these beans because the children at the campground, didn't have much food back in the day either. So they were trying to think of like, what's a cheap option? What can they give these kids, and what's cheap to make? And, a lot of these kids, they were having issues, not being able to fart. They were having flatulence issues basically. And, their parents had to send them off to a camp to be able to fix these issues. So
I think what's really interesting was when he got to that camp. So they have regular pork and beans, but then there's this one, it says in tomato sauce. So that was a new addition. That was like an add-on that came when you got to the camp. You only could get this version if you went to Van Camp.
well, what's cool too is there's high fiber and low cholesterol. So that was perfect for the kids that were really, struggling with this issue.
So here you can see only 98% fat. Free, I mean. The reason they did that was because nothing's perfect in this world, and it's the same concept as Germ-X. It says 99.9%. So they didn't want to copy them because, copyrights on percentages and stuff.
Right.
So they did 98%.
Right.
And so that's really what's the most interesting about this.
Well, what's cool where he was going with this, with the story about, not being able to have cars. Van Camp decided one day, this is such an issue because all of our kids need this food and there needs to be a better means of transportation, right? So same guy, believe it or not, that invented Van Camp's beans also invented what we have now as the van.
Yeah.
So he now is able to take kids back and forth. He also invented the van, basically, is what we're trying to say.
And he was
What a brilliant guy, am I right?
He was able to transport the kids to this new camp in his van.
Right.
That he now invented. I think it came out in like 1902 or something like that.
And not only that, but have a bunch of cans in the back too, just for extra wiggle room.
Yeah. So that's how pork and beans got invented. You can thank the minivan really for this. Without minivans, pork and beans probably wouldn't exist. And this special, I'm the only one in the world that has a special edition in tomato sauce. This is a piece of history right here. So if you want it, contact me. Maybe we can make a discussion. But really though, enjoy your regular pork and beans.